Class today is all about communication. So communicating with your team, communicating externally, and just how to use CompanyCam to communicate and kind of improve that communication piece within the software. Our agenda is as follows. So we're going to go over notifications, comments, some translation things, some of our AI features, which have been super helpful for teams to communicate really fast. So quick caption and AI checklists, collaborators. So that's using CompanyCam with subcontractors. Our new text scanning feature that can be super helpful to copy and paste with things that have text on it. And then sending out information. So galleries and that timeline link, sending those out to customers, clients, and maybe subcontractors as well. All right, I'm going to exit out of here and switch my sharing to my phone screen. We're going to be mainly in the app today, so just give me 1 second. All righty. You should be on your phone screen here in a second. And first things first, I do have CompanyCam pulled up. So we're on the app here. The first thing that I do want to mention that doesn't get a lot of hype, I think, is just our support team. They're super great. So if you just scroll down on your homepage, at the bottom left there, you'll see that chat with support button. So that is your way to go ahead and communicate with our support team. Keep in mind, you do have onboarding reps and account managers and customer success managers. So those are people that are, dedicated to you and your team. But if you're out in the field or need help with a quick question, we do have that chat with support button, and they respond to you within 3 minutes. So they're super fast during regular business hours. So just keep that in mind that you can chat with them and get an actual person. We have an actual team that is able to communicate with you. All right. The first thing that we're going to talk about is going to be our notifications, which is where a lot of things like comments and mentions and reminders are going to live. So the communication piece is really great. And if you do get communication from your teammates internally, those are going to pop through in your notifications. At the bottom of your app here, you'll see that blue camera icon. To the right of that is going to be your little bell, which is your your notifications. So if we click that, we can see here my inbox is full of those communication pieces that I have with my team. So lots of app mentions and assigned things that have been sent to me. So it's a really great place to see those notifications. In the top right there, that double check mark is your way to go ahead and mark those as read. So if you're like me and don't want those little notifications on your apps, you'll want to go ahead and click that and mark those all as read if you have read all of those. Next to the inbox in the top left is going to be your reminders tab. So something new that we've created is being able to remind yourself to look at something later. So kind of marking it as unread or reminding yourself to kind of go back into that notification. So both options are really great. How we're going to move to the next thing is we're going to go ahead and pop into a project here. So if I just go into my project here, you can see, this is a project that I have ongoing. And then the first thing that we're going to talk about is going to be the blue camera icon at the bottom. To the right of that is going to be what looks like a conversation bubble. So this is where your comments live in a project. That conversation bubble is within a project, and you also have the option to comment on a photo, which I'll show you here in a second. So we're going to go ahead and click that comment button. You can see this one has 1 comment on there already. So it's asking it. I went ahead and mentioned myself to please remove that label by the end of the week. To go ahead and add a new comment, what you'll do is just touch to add a comment. And the communication piece comes in where we can go ahead and mention someone. So I'm going to go ahead and find that and I'm going to go ahead and mention myself so we can see this pull through. So finding my name here. Now this is going to be any users that you have on your account. So anyone that's on your CompanyCam account will be able to go ahead and pull up here. You can also mention a group. So if you're using groups to kind of group people together, depending on the crew, you can go ahead and find a group and that will give them all a notification, whoever's in that group. But for this piece, I'm going to go ahead and mention myself. Went ahead and gave myself a little comment. When I go ahead and click post, what's going to happen is you'll see that notification kind of pull through here that I was mentioned. Now, if you have your notifications turned on for CompanyCam, that's also a really great way to go ahead and see those pull through your actual phone, so not just the app. Similar to a text message, it's a really great way to kind of communicate back and forth within CompanyCam, so that communication doesn't get lost within a project. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is how to remind yourself of this. So maybe I need to remind myself of this by the end of the day, but I accidentally saw it and I want to go ahead and kind of leave it unread. What you'll do is go ahead and hold this down and you'll get some options here. So I can remind myself in 30 minutes, 4 hours, 1 day, or 3 days. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and set it for 4 hours. So by the end of the day, that reminder is going to pull through again as a notification to kind of go back here and do that. The next thing I want to talk about is the translation piece. So you can go ahead and if you have a Spanish speaking coworker, what you can do is go ahead and type this like a different language. And when you go ahead and post that, it's going to translate to English. So depending on if your coworker or some field tech is using a different language than you can go ahead and tap that and it'll switch that language. So just a really nice piece there that translations do live in there. They live in the comments and through the app mentions as well that I just showed. Awesome. Just real quick, I do want to show you that that also lives in a photo. So if we click open a photo I took here, bottom left is that same little conversation bubble. So when we go ahead and click that, that same piece comes up. So we can go ahead and leave a comment on a photo. Same thing, you can go ahead and at mention if needed. What's nice is you can also just leave a comment and not have to at mention someone. So if you want to leave a comment for yourself or just a comment on this in general, when we go ahead and post, doesn't give anyone notification, but that does have a comment on there. Awesome. Before I move on to kind of our quick caption taking photos, did we have any questions?
We are all good.
Awesome. We will kind of continue then. Moving on from comments and mentions and notifications, the next thing that we're going to look at is going to be taking photos and using our AI features. So when we go ahead and click the blue camera icon at the bottom, it's going to prompt us to start taking photos in the project. One thing I do want to note is top right is going to be our settings wheel. So we go ahead to our settings. This is per user settings. So each user can set these up the way that they prefer, or if you have an admin that wants all the team members to have it set up a certain way, you can go ahead and set that up as well. When we go to all camera settings, if we scroll to the bottom here, underneath the more, the one that I want to talk about is going to be that quick caption. So Premium and Elite has unlimited access to this quick caption, and our pro users will have 10 AI features. So quick caption is an AI feature that we have on CompanyCam. What will happen is when you're able to take a photo, that quick caption description is going to pop up, so you can quickly add a description as you're taking photos. Now, this is really nice to make sure that descriptions are being added to photos as you take them. You can always go back in and add those descriptions, but this is a really great way to kind of quickly grab photos with descriptions added to them. So we have that one turned on so that when we take a photo, we're kind of ready to go. Quick caption and any of our AI tools, they can translate or take 10 languages. So as you speak a different language, if you have users that are speaking a different language, it is in 10 languages. So that's really great feature that we do have. I'm going to go ahead and show you what this looks like. Just to show you an additional thing as well, tagging is really important for your photos. So CompanyCam really works best when you tag photos and then label projects. So that's kind of our two organizational features. You'll see that little price tag icon at the top there. So when I click that, I can go ahead and find the tag that I want to use. I'm going to go ahead and take a photo of this front door here. So it's going to find that front door photo. Click save and you'll see that populate in the bottom left. Now, when I go ahead and take this photo of the front door, what's going to happen is that little microphone with the description is going to pop up, which is our quick caption description tool. So here we are here, we're taking a photo of the front door. When we take that, there's that description. Can we make sure that this door is unlocked during business hours? Click done, and that photo and description has now been saved. When we click done, you'll see that kind of pull through. Hold on here. There we go. There's that photo we just took, and it got that description there at the bottom. So make sure that the door is unlocked during business hours. So a really great way to quickly grab descriptions on your photos. As you take photos, that same little microphone is going to pop up to quickly grab that description. Awesome. Next thing that we're going to go into is our AI features. So we'll see those within pages. You can either create a new page and then you'll see that, or get started with AI if you're on a new project. If not, you'll be able to click that plus page and those will populate at the bottom there. The first three, summary, daily log, and progress recap, are going to be really great if you have a lot of photos with descriptions already added to them. With AI, it's going to be able to create these things and kind of create a summary page for you, a daily log of what's been done that day, or a progress recap explaining, the difference that has happened throughout the progress of the project. The last one is the one I'm going to demo. That's going to be a walkthrough note. So the walkthrough note is a really cool feature. What happens is it gives you this 3, 2, 1 countdown. So then you can start and prep. And then as that 3, 2, 1 countdown ends, your camera is pulled up with your microphone. So you're able to just start speaking, taking photos if needed, and kind of just going through a walkthrough note. A lot of our companies will use this for, what needs to be done or what has been done. And the new feature that we do have is you're able to translate that into a checklist. So if you are doing it in a sense of, these things need to be done, you can then create a checklist. That's kind of how I will demo it. Keep in mind, it's not taking a video of what you're doing. What it's doing is capturing what you're saying in the photos and creating a page for that. So kind of like just a notebook page, a virtual page of that. It will save your transcript. So it's nice if you needed to go back if AI doesn't get it 100% correct, which it's not going to. There might be some things that you have to, edit. And that's a good thing. It's not taking our jobs anytime soon. So when we do create this, you can always go back to that transcript and look what you've done or edit that page if needed. So we're going to go ahead and give this a try. Again, I'm going to click that walkthrough note. It gives me that 3, 2, 1 countdown, and I'm going to be going. This keyboard needs to be cleaned. It is a little bit dirty. We make sure this coffee cup gets in the trash before the end of the day. These sound bars need to get fixed. Some of them are misplaced. We make sure to clean this window. This plant needs to be watered. And we need to replace this outlet here. This door was locked, but it needs to remain unlocked for the rest of the day. Now you'll see that mute button in the bottom right that I just clicked. Now that is your way to go ahead and take a pause. It's not taking anything I'm saying. If you needed to switch rooms, if someone came up to you, you need to gather your thoughts, you can go ahead and click that mute button, and then you could go ahead and click unmute as well, and keep going. This paper needs to be thrown away once finished. I'm going to go ahead and click done. What's happening is it's taking everything I'm saying and kind of creating this walkthrough note. So it's summarizing all the content that I've said. It's going to give it a title, and then we can open it up and kind of see what it got. So this one labeled office maintenance tasks, cleaning, repairs, and organization. Pretty good for what I gave it. It breaks it into different sections. So we have office cleanup and organization, window cleaning and maintenance tasks, and paper disposal. So the cool thing about this is if it didn't get it right, you can go ahead and, we don't need that photo here. We can edit that. Maybe we actually don't need to throw the paper away. We need to keep it. So you can kind of edit that the way that you need to. Now, if we like the way that it looks, we can export this and send it off to someone. Otherwise, in the top right, you'll see these 3 dots. When we go ahead and click that, we can create a checklist. So we can turn this into a checklist, and it's going to go into the checklist into this project that we're in. So we go ahead and create that checklist, gives it a title, and then it's going to create this checklist, build it out for me into different sections. We can see here at the top there, I can assign it to someone so that they know that they need to do these things. If we need to edit anything in these fields, if we go ahead and click into this, we can add questions, make sure that they take photos once it's cleaned. However, you need to kind of make sure that this is taken care of. But it's a really nice, easy way that I just kind of spoke these things. It built it out for me, and it does save a lot of time. And you're able to quickly communicate, what needs to be done or what has been done. Okay. Next thing we'll go into is just sharing out information from CompanyCam. So we'll see here, if we just scroll, we'll see that collaborators option. Collaborators is really used best for subcontractors that are working with you on the project. So instead of adding them as a user, if they're only with you on a few projects, you can go ahead and add them as a collaborator. When we go ahead and click this, we're going to be given two different options. The first one is that collaboration option. So you can invite a sub company. What will happen is they'll get a notification to kind of download CompanyCam. They can use the free version of CompanyCam, but they'll get kind of a copy of this project on their CompanyCam account where you can communicate with them back and forth. They can take photos and they can get work done with you. So it's a really great tool to kind of work with different companies on CompanyCam. Next one is going to be that project contact, which will allow you to have guest access. Guest access is really great to use for clients or homeowners. What they'll be able to do is see photos and add photos with a simple link, and that's all they can do. So keep that in mind. They can only see some photos on the project, and then they can add their own project photos as well. So both those options are really great for communicating in CompanyCam. Awesome. Next thing we're going to look into is a newer feature we have as well, which is going to be the text scanning. So I went ahead and preloaded some photos of my software, or I'm sorry, my heater. So what I can do is if there's text on photos, so if you take a photo of any sort of like information that has text on it, you'll see that little T in the bottom right pop up, and that's your way to go ahead and use that text scanning. So if we go ahead and click that, you can see that it highlighted some of this text scanning. And what you can do is copy and paste. You can see I just held it down there and it copied it. So if we needed to add that into the description, oops, we can go ahead and paste that in there with that information. So you're not having to kind of relay that information or try to type it yourself. You can just go ahead and copy and paste that. So great to add that information into the description of the photo, depending on what information you need. That text scanning feature is really nice. Now, of course, that photo has to have that text on there in order for you to do that. Awesome. Any questions, Bree, just before I get into the next few things?
No questions. You're all good.
All right. Awesome. Now we showed you how to share information from a project with the collaborators feature as well as guest access. And the next thing I want to go over is just how to share out photos. So in this project that we're in here, you can see on the right-hand side that see all. Now, when I click that, that pulls open all of my photos from the project. Now, what's great is if you are tagging your photos and doing a good job with that, and you're trying to search for certain photos, top right, you can use that filter icon to look for certain photos. You can do type, date. For this one, you can do tags. So if we wanted to just look at that front door photo, we can go ahead and click that on and just see the front door photos. But if you do filter those will populate. And then the top left is going to be that create share option. When I go ahead and click that, I get a few different options. The first one is going to be you can create a before and after from preloaded photos that you have already taken in the project. The next one is going to be share a gallery of select photos. So you can choose certain photos to share out. You could share a gallery of all of the photos in the project. And then the last one is going to be a project timeline link. Project timeline is going to be great to share out to clients or homeowners that want to see a live feed of the photos that are being taken on the project. So you're not having to send out multiple gallery links. This live feed is going to update and with the photos that you take, and as your field team is taking photos, and that you just be able to refresh that and see those new photos that are being taken. You can disable that link, and you can also remove certain photos from that timeline link if needed. So keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and share a gallery of select photos to show you what that looks like. When I do so, I can go ahead and click certain photos. That numeric count is going to populate in the bottom left. And then with the bottom right, you can click that share out button. It's going to ask if you want to include some details of who, when, or where those photos were taken. I'll go ahead and click yes. What's going to happen is it creates a gallery link, pops that open. We can go ahead and share it out with our contacts. We can copy it, kind of different options here if you can share it out. What they are going to get is a link to those photos. So you'll see at the top there, the customer success demo account. It's going to have your company name. If you have your company logo uploaded to CompanyCam, your company logo will also be attached. What they are going to get is those photos. They can click into those photos individually and download them if they need to. So a really great way to share out, a group of photos that, you need to share out to anyone to kind of communicate information. Awesome. There was one other spot I wanted to show you guys. Let me just see if I can find it quickly. And if not, no big deal. I think it was, okay, yeah. Kind of bringing us back, we're going to go right back to the notifications where we started. The one other thing I wanted to show you is your settings of your notifications. So top right, I talked a little bit about marking them as read. And then next to that is going to be your little settings wheel. So this is kind of where you can kind of change the settings of what information you want to be given via push notifications, emails, whatever it may be. You'll see you can just go ahead and turn these things off and on. So depending, and it'll make you open your settings in your either Apple settings, or if you have a Google phone in there as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. You can kind of turn those off and on as well, just to know which information and things you're going to get. Alrighty, you'll see that reminders is here as well. So you'll see that pop through since we reminded ourselves. That is all I have. Any questions on anything that we went over today?
Sammy, can you go over collaborators again and just kind of walk through the purpose, where to find those, and what they have access to?
Yeah.
I didn't get. Could
So
you?
something about collaborators to note. Oh, okay. Something to note about collaborators is you have to add them per project. So the thing about users on your account is, depending on their permission settings, they have access to most projects in the company account. And with collaborators, we'll have to share out a collaboration link with each individual project. So we go ahead and click into a project here. You're going to see that collaborators right here. It looks like two little buildings. And that's kind of our key tool to know that you're working with someone else. And on the web version, it's really awesome because it'll kind of show that same thing so you know which projects have collaborators on it. Go ahead and click that collaborators. At the top there, you'll see it's suggesting that you invite a subcontractor or sub company that you are working with in tandem, and you want them to have access to CompanyCam and the project that we're working on. We'll go ahead and click that plus collaborator, and you'll just go ahead and share this invite link to them. The collaborator will get this link. They'll be prompted to download CompanyCam. Again, they can use the free version of CompanyCam. They will get an awesome 14-day free trial, and they can work in tandem with you on this project. So you'll just be able to share that link out. It's pretty simple. It's nice to kind of prompt them that they're going to get this link, and they'll be prompted to download CompanyCam. They'll realize how awesome it is and be able to work with you on this project. I guess I can also say they can add photos, they can view and share photos and make comments in the project. So that's the really nice piece of being able to kind of collaborate and communicate on a project kind of in here, and in the photos and whatnot. Awesome. Anything else, Bree?
That is all I'm seeing in the chat and Q&A. If there's anything that we didn't cover that you guys need to see again, please make sure to drop that in the Q&A, and we'll get those answered or ask them live. But I think we're getting everything answered there right now.
Awesome. Cool. Well, we'll hang out for a little bit just in case anything comes through. I'll just kind of stay on my project here. Happy to kind of go over anything else. I know this was a little bit of a shorter class, which is kind of a sweet thing. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again here. And we'll just kind of go over some additional resources that we do have. Some CompanyCam resources that we have. I talked a little bit of where that chat with support is, just because I love to kind of prompt them. I was on that team before, but you can chat with support. Their email is support@companycam.com. We have awesome Spanish resources as well. So if you have any Spanish speaking users on your account, feel free to kind of shoot them these Spanish resources. We do have a class that we've done in Spanish as well. Some how-to articles, companycam.com/help is a great place to go if you have any questions on additional integrations, features that we didn't go over. Our YouTube is also great. If you just go to youtube.com, CompanyCam help site, pop that up. And then of course your dedicated success manager or onboarding manager is success@companycam.com.